Jhon, widely regarded as one of the most influential motivational speakers and personal development experts of all time, built his entire legacy on principles that are simple yet profoundly effective. His journey from a modest upbringing to becoming a self-made millionaire is not just inspiring, but also serves as a blueprint for anyone willing to commit to growth and change. The foundation of Jhon's success lies in three powerful habits that he practiced consistently throughout his life. These habits, daily reading and continuous learning, setting clear and specific goals, and taking full personal responsibility, are more than just techniques. They are the pillars of a mindset that transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. First and foremost, Jhon was a lifelong learner, constantly seeking knowledge to improve himself and his circumstances. He believed that formal education can only take you so far, but self-education is the true key to unlocking potential. Reading was not a casual activity for Jhon. It was a daily discipline that fueled his mind and spirit. He immersed himself in books about business, philosophy, leadership, and personal development. This relentless pursuit of knowledge allowed him to adapt, innovate, and inspire others. Jhon famously said, "Formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune," underscoring the importance he placed on learning beyond traditional schooling. This habit is crucial because it opens doors to new ideas and perspectives, expanding one's worldview and capacity to solve problems. However, acquiring knowledge is just the first step. Applying what you learn is where real growth happens. Jhon advocated for taking notes, reflecting deeply on lessons, and then implementing those insights into everyday life. Without action, even the greatest knowledge is meaningless. The second habit that shaped Jhon's path to wealth and influence was the practice of setting clear, measurable, and compelling goals. He understood that success without direction is like a ship without a rudder, adrift and aimless. Goal setting gave him a roadmap to follow, a vision that kept him focused and motivated even when faced with setbacks. Jhon recommended writing down goals daily, revisiting them often to keep the mind aligned with the desired outcomes. This process of crystallizing one's ambitions into specific, achievable targets helps turn abstract dreams into actionable plans. He also emphasized the importance of breaking down large goals into smaller, manageable steps to maintain momentum and avoid feeling overwhelmed. Using the SMART criteria, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, he ensured that goals were realistic yet challenging. This habit fosters discipline, clarity, and perseverance, essential qualities for anyone aiming for long-term success. Jhon's journey to becoming a millionaire was not a tale of overnight success or luck, but rather a consistent commitment to cultivating specific habits that laid the foundation for his incredible achievements. The second part of understanding the three habits that made Jhon a millionaire involves diving deeper into how these habits shaped not only his financial success, but also his personal growth and influence on millions worldwide. The first habit, daily reading and continuous learning, was not just about accumulating information, but about developing a mindset of constant improvement and curiosity. Jhon understood that knowledge alone is useless unless it is applied, and so he made it a point to not only read widely, but also to reflect on what he learned, integrating new ideas into his worldview and daily practices. This continuous learning habit allowed him to adapt to changing circumstances and seize opportunities that others missed. Alongside this was the practice of setting clear and specific goals, which acted as a compass directing every action he took. Unlike vague aspirations that many hold, Jhon's approach to goal setting was disciplined and methodical. He advocated for writing down goals and reviewing them regularly to maintain focus and momentum. These goals were broken down into smaller steps, creating a manageable path that made large ambitions achievable through steady progress. This habit also instilled a sense of accountability and clarity, helping Jhon avoid distractions and stay aligned with his purpose. Perhaps the most transformative habit was taking full personal responsibility for his life. Jhon's philosophy emphasized that external circumstances, luck, or other people are not the determining factors of success. Rather, it is the choices one makes and the mindset one adopts that shape outcomes. This belief empowered him to face challenges head-on, learn from failures, and continually move forward without making excuses. Accepting responsibility also meant owning his mistakes and using them as learning tools rather than reasons for defeat. Together, these habits created a resilient framework that supported Jhon's rise from modest beginnings to millionaire status. His story demonstrates that success is accessible to anyone willing to adopt these disciplines and practice them consistently. Moreover, these habits are interconnected and mutually reinforcing. Continuous learning feeds better goal setting, which in turn strengthens one's sense of responsibility and commitment. Jhon Rohn's teachings encourage individuals to view success not as a destination, but as a process of ongoing development shaped by daily actions and choices. For those looking to emulate Jhon's path, the journey begins with a deliberate decision to prioritize these habits in their lives. Establishing a daily reading routine, for example, might start with as little as 15 minutes a day, gradually increasing as one's interest and engagement grow. Jhon Rohn's extraordinary success story is rooted in the consistent practice of 3 fundamental habits that anyone can adopt to improve their lives significantly, and in this third part, we continue to explore how these habits intertwine to create a powerful framework for success. The first habit, daily reading and continuous learning, is more than just an intellectual pursuit. It is a commitment to personal growth that fuels creativity, sharpens decision-making, and broadens one's perspective on life and business. Jhon Rohn often stressed that the path to financial freedom and personal fulfillment is paved with knowledge, and he tirelessly devoted time each day to consuming content that challenged his assumptions and expanded his understanding. This practice didn't just fill his mind with facts. It fundamentally shifted his mindset to one that embraces change, seeks opportunity, and remains adaptable in the face of uncertainty. The second habit, setting clear and specific goals, served as the roadmap for Jhon's ambitions. By crafting precise, measurable objectives, he transformed vague dreams into tangible targets that guided his daily actions. This habit cultivated discipline and clarity, helping him prioritize efforts and allocate resources efficiently. Jhon understood that without goals, motivation wanes and progress stalls, so he recommended revisiting these goals regularly, visualizing success, and adjusting strategies as necessary. The process of goal setting also encourages accountability, pushing individuals to evaluate their progress honestly and make course corrections when needed. The third habit, personal responsibility, is perhaps the most powerful because it places the individual in the driver's seat of their destiny. Jhon Rohn believed that blaming external factors or circumstances is a trap that leads to stagnation, whereas accepting full responsibility empowers people to take control and create the life they want. This habit fosters resilience, as setbacks are no longer seen as failures, but as learning opportunities. Embracing responsibility means acknowledging mistakes, learning from them, and persisting despite challenges. It also encourages proactive behavior, as those who accept responsibility don't wait for permission or luck, they take initiative. Together, these habits create a synergy that propels individuals forward. Continuous learning fuels better goal setting, which in turn strengthens the commitment to personal responsibility. Jhon's success was not a result of extraordinary talent or luck, but of deliberately cultivating these habits every day. His teachings remind us that success is less about grand gestures and more about consistent, small disciplines practiced over time. To apply these habits, start by dedicating time to read material that not only informs, but also inspires and challenges you. Then, take the time to write down your goals clearly, ensuring they are specific and memorable. Jhon's formula for success through his 3 key habits, daily learning, clear goal setting, and personal responsibility, is a timeless approach that continues to inspire millions, and in this 4th installment, we delve deeper into how these habits operate in synergy to build not only wealth, but character and influence. The habit of daily reading and continuous learning was never just a casual routine for Jhon. It was a deliberate and disciplined practice that shaped his worldview and decision-making process. By absorbing knowledge consistently, he stayed ahead of trends, discovered new opportunities, and refined his understanding of business and life principles. This ongoing education fueled his confidence and creativity, enabling him to navigate challenges with a well-equipped mind. Setting clear and specific goals complemented this knowledge acquisition by translating insights into actionable steps. Jhon understood that goals provide direction and motivation, serving as a constant reminder of what you're working toward. Writing down goals and reviewing them regularly keeps them fresh in the mind, reinforcing commitment and helping to maintain focus amid distractions. This practice also encourages breaking down large ambitions into smaller milestones, making progress tangible and manageable. However, without personal responsibility, these habits can falter. Jhon's emphasis on taking full ownership of one's choices and outcomes anchors the entire success framework. When setbacks occur, which they inevitably do, the responsible mindset empowers you to analyze what went wrong, learn from mistakes, and adjust strategies rather than succumb to excuses or blame. This resilience and adaptability are essential traits that differentiate those who succeed from those who give up. The combination of these habits creates a feedback loop. Continuous learning enhances goal setting by providing clarity and knowledge. Goal setting reinforces responsibility by giving clear targets to own. Responsibility drives the commitment to keep learning and adjusting. This holistic approach ensures that success is sustainable, built on a foundation of growth, purpose, and accountability. For anyone seeking to apply these principles, it's important to remember that developing these habits takes time and consistent effort. Begin with small, manageable actions. Commit to reading for a few minutes daily, write down 1 or 2 goals, and consciously remind yourself to take responsibility in daily decisions. Over time, these small steps compound, leading to significant transformation. Jhon's life is a powerful example that success is not reserved for the lucky or privileged, but is accessible to anyone who adopts the right habits and mindset. By embracing continuous learning, purposeful goal setting, and personal accountability, you create a path toward not just financial wealth, but also personal fulfillment and influence. Jhon's journey to millionaire status was built upon a solid foundation of habits that anyone can adopt, and in this 5th part, we continue to explore how these 3 habits, daily learning, clear goal setting, and taking personal responsibility, serve as the driving forces behind sustained success and personal transformation. The habit of daily reading and continuous learning was a cornerstone of Jhon's philosophy, reflecting his belief that knowledge is the most valuable asset a person can acquire. For Jhon, education was a lifelong pursuit, not confined to formal schooling but extended through voracious reading and self-study. This habit equipped him with new ideas, perspectives, and strategies that he applied to his business ventures and personal development. By committing to learn something new every day, Jhon ensured that he remained adaptable and relevant in an ever-changing world. The practice of setting clear and specific goals acted as the blueprint for Jhon's accomplishments. He understood that without defined objectives, it's easy to lose direction and motivation. Writing down goals made them tangible and real, while regularly reviewing them kept him focused and energized. Jhon advocated breaking down big goals into smaller, achievable milestones to create momentum and avoid feeling overwhelmed. This approach provided clarity, helping him measure progress and make necessary adjustments along the way. Yet, none of this would have been effective without the third habit, taking full personal responsibility. Jim's philosophy emphasized that blaming external circumstances or other people is counterproductive. Instead, he encouraged individuals to own their choices and outcomes completely. This mindset of accountability fosters resilience and empowerment because it shifts the focus from what cannot be controlled to what can. When setbacks occurred, Jim used them as opportunities for growth, learning valuable lessons instead of making excuses. Together, these habits created a powerful cycle. Continuous learning informed better goal setting, which strengthened personal responsibility and drove consistent action. This synergy allowed Jim to overcome obstacles, build wealth, and inspire millions worldwide. For anyone eager to follow in Jim Rohn's footsteps, the path begins with adopting these habits intentionally and persistently. Start by dedicating time each day to read and absorb knowledge that challenges and expands your thinking. Next, write down your goals with clarity, ensuring they are specific, measurable, and time-bound. Review them regularly to maintain focus and motivation. Finally, commit to taking responsibility for your life and decisions, embracing both successes and failures as part of your growth journey. Remember, success is not the result of luck but of small, consistent habits practiced over time. Jim Rohn's rise to millionaire status was no accident. It was the direct result of intentionally cultivating three powerful habits that shaped his mindset, actions, and ultimately his success. In this sixth part, we further explore how the integration of daily learning, goal setting, and personal responsibility created a foundation not only for wealth, but also for lasting personal growth and influence. The habit of continuous learning, through daily reading and self-education, was the fuel that kept Jim's mind sharp and his spirit motivated. He understood that to stay competitive and innovative, one must never stop expanding their knowledge. This habit also provided him with the tools to think critically, solve problems creatively, and stay open to new ideas. Jim often emphasized that learning is not confined to books alone. It includes learning from experiences, mentors, and even failures. The second habit, setting clear and specific goals, acted as the guiding star for all his efforts. Goals gave Jim direction and purpose, helping him prioritize what mattered most. By writing down his goals and reviewing them regularly, he kept his ambitions at the forefront of his mind, which reinforced his commitment and focus. He also advised breaking goals into smaller, manageable tasks to build momentum and maintain confidence. This clarity helped him avoid distractions and stay aligned with his vision. The third and arguably most transformative habit was taking full personal responsibility. Jim believed that no matter the circumstances, your response to situations is within your control. This mindset empowered him to face adversity with resilience and a proactive attitude. When setbacks happened, he didn't dwell on blame or excuses. Instead, he asked himself what he could learn and how he could improve. This ownership over his life's outcomes built mental toughness and a relentless drive toward success. Together, these habits form a powerful synergy. Continuous learning enhances your ability to set effective goals. Clear goals bolster your sense of responsibility, and personal responsibility fuels the motivation to keep learning and progressing. Jim Rohn's legacy teaches us that success is not reserved for the privileged, but is available to anyone willing to adopt these habits and practice them daily. To follow this path, start by dedicating time to reading and learning every day, no matter how small the amount. Write down your goals with as much detail as possible, revisit them often, and break them into actionable steps. Most importantly, develop the mindset that you are fully responsible for your choices and their consequences. When you encounter obstacles, look for the lessons rather than excuses. Jim Rohn's incredible success and lasting influence stem from his unwavering commitment to 3 core habits that anyone can adopt to transform their life: daily learning, clear goal setting, and taking full personal responsibility. In this 7th part, we explore further how these habits interconnect to create a powerful momentum towards success. The habit of daily reading and continuous learning was the fuel that energized Jhon's mind and spirit throughout his life. He believed that the world is constantly changing, and to stay relevant and successful, one must commit to growing their knowledge every single day. This habit was more than gathering facts. It was about internalizing wisdom, questioning assumptions, and adopting new strategies that improved his business and personal life. Jhon emphasized that learning from books, experiences, mentors, and even failures all contribute to a well-rounded education that prepares one for greater challenges and opportunities. The 2nd habit, setting clear and specific goals, gave Jhon a roadmap to follow. Unlike vague aspirations, clear goals provide focus and direction, allowing for measurable progress. Writing down goals and reviewing them regularly keeps motivation high and prioritizes action. Jhon recommended breaking large goals into smaller steps, creating manageable milestones that build confidence and momentum. This goal-setting habit keeps distractions at bay and aligns daily activities with long-term vision. Most importantly, the 3rd habit, taking full personal responsibility, serves as the foundation that supports the other 2 habits. Jhon's philosophy was that no matter what happens in life, how you respond is what truly matters. Owning your decisions, your mistakes, and your results creates empowerment and resilience. Instead of blaming external circumstances, Jhon advocated embracing challenges as opportunities to learn and grow. This mindset cultivates mental toughness and persistence, enabling you to push through adversity and continue progressing toward your goals. Together, these habits form a cycle of growth. Continuous learning improves goal setting, clear goals reinforce personal responsibility, and personal responsibility drives continuous learning and action. Jhon Rohn's legacy shows us that success is less about luck or talent and more about disciplined habits practiced consistently over time. For anyone seeking similar results, start by making daily learning a priority. Read, listen, and seek knowledge that challenges and inspires you. Next, write down specific goals and revisit them frequently to maintain focus. Finally, adopt the mindset of full ownership over your life, choices, and outcomes. When faced with obstacles, ask what you can do differently rather than looking for excuses. By living these principles daily, you create a foundation for success that is not only sustainable but also fulfilling. Jhon Rohn's story of becoming a millionaire is deeply rooted in the deliberate cultivation of 3 core habits that shaped his mindset and life outcomes: daily learning, goal setting, and personal responsibility. And in this 8th part, we take a closer look at how these habits not only brought him financial success, but also transformed him into a leader and influencer whose legacy continues to motivate millions. The 1st habit, daily learning through reading and self-education, was more than a routine. It was a lifestyle choice that fueled Jhon's intellectual and personal growth. He believed that the best investment anyone could make was in themselves, and knowledge was the most valuable currency. This habit allowed Jhon to stay ahead in the ever-evolving landscape of business and personal development, constantly equipping himself with new strategies, insights, and perspectives. Importantly, he didn't just collect knowledge. He applied it, tested it, and refined his approach based on what he learned. The 2nd habit, setting clear and specific goals, was the roadmap that guided Jhon's journey. Without clearly defined goals, Jhon knew ambition could turn into aimlessness. Writing down goals made them tangible and served as a daily reminder of what he was striving for. Regularly reviewing these goals helped maintain his focus and allowed for adjustments based on progress and changing circumstances. Breaking goals into smaller, actionable steps made large objectives less intimidating and ensured continuous momentum. The third habit, personal responsibility, was the cornerstone of Jim's philosophy. He firmly believed that success or failure is determined not by external conditions, but by how an individual responds to those conditions. This mindset encouraged resilience, persistence, and self-discipline. When faced with setbacks, Jim chose to learn from mistakes rather than blame others or circumstances. This sense of ownership empowered him to take control of his destiny and inspired others to do the same. Together, these habits created a self-reinforcing cycle. Daily learning enhanced goal setting, clear goals strengthened responsibility, and personal responsibility fueled further learning and action. Jim Rohn's approach teaches us that success is not about shortcuts or luck, but about consistent daily habits that build character and results over time. For those seeking to emulate Jim's path, the first step is to commit to continuous learning by dedicating time each day to reading and reflecting on new ideas. Next, clearly articulate your goals, write them down, and revisit them frequently to keep your vision sharp and motivation alive. Most importantly, embrace the mindset that you are fully responsible for your life's outcomes. When challenges arise, instead of giving in to excuses, focus on what you can control and how you can grow from the experience. Jim Rohn's transformation into a millionaire and motivational legend was driven by his relentless dedication to three fundamental habits: daily learning, purposeful goal setting, and unwavering personal responsibility. In this ninth part, we deepen our understanding of how these habits interact to create a powerful framework for success that anyone can follow. The habit of daily learning was not just about reading books or listening to seminars. It was about cultivating a mindset of curiosity and growth that challenged Jim to constantly expand his horizons. He believed that knowledge alone is useless unless it is put into action, so his learning was always paired with reflection and application. This continuous education enabled him to stay innovative, solve problems creatively, and seize opportunities that others overlooked. The second habit, setting clear and specific goals, provided Jim with a map to navigate his ambitions. Goals gave him clarity and purpose, transforming vague desires into actionable plans. By writing down his goals and reviewing them regularly, he reinforced his commitment and kept distractions at bay. Jim recommended breaking large goals into smaller, manageable tasks to create momentum and celebrate progress, which sustained motivation over the long term. The third habit, personal responsibility, was the cornerstone that held the entire structure together. Jim taught that blaming external factors or waiting for the right circumstances only leads to stagnation. Instead, owning one's decisions and outcomes empowers individuals to take control of their lives. This mindset builds resilience, as setbacks are reframed as opportunities to learn and grow. It also fosters discipline and perseverance, crucial traits for overcoming obstacles on the path to success. The synergy among these three habits creates a virtuous cycle. Daily learning improves goal setting, clear goals enhance responsibility, and responsibility drives further learning and action. Jim Rohn's life is proof that success is not reserved for the privileged or inherently talented, but is accessible to anyone willing to adopt these simple yet powerful habits. For those aspiring to follow Jim's example, the journey begins by dedicating time to learning every day, choosing materials that challenge and inspire. Next, write down specific, measurable goals, and revisit them often to keep your focus sharp. Finally, embrace the mindset of full accountability, understanding that you have the power to shape your future through your choices and actions. By integrating these habits into your daily routine, you build a foundation for lasting success, personal fulfillment, and the ability to inspire others, just as Jim Rohn did throughout his remarkable life. As we reach the conclusion of this deep dive into the three habits that propelled Jhon to millionaire status: daily learning, clear goal setting, and taking full personal responsibility. It's important to remember that these habits are not just isolated actions, but a comprehensive mindset that anyone can cultivate. Jhon's life teaches us that success is less about luck or innate talent and more about the consistent practice of habits that shape who we become over time. Daily learning keeps our minds sharp, open, and ready to adapt to the ever-changing world, ensuring that we continually improve and innovate. Clear goal setting transforms dreams into actionable plans, providing focus and motivation to move forward with purpose. Taking personal responsibility grounds us in the reality that our lives are shaped by our choices and responses, empowering us to take control even in difficult circumstances. The synergy of these habits creates a powerful cycle that fuels progress and resilience, helping us overcome obstacles and stay committed to our vision. Jhon's teachings remind us that greatness is not a destination, but a journey built on discipline, clarity, and accountability. By embracing and integrating these habits into your daily life, you set yourself on a path toward not only financial success, but also personal fulfillment and the ability to inspire those around you. The power to change your life lies in your hands, and by following the blueprint Jhon laid out, you too can transform your potential into extraordinary achievement. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step, a commitment to learn, to set goals, and to take responsibility. Start today, keep going, and watch how these habits will open doors to opportunities and success beyond your imagination.